Good evening, sports fans, and welcome back to the HM YouTube channel. So as you'll see behind me, the Civic is now partly in bits. So since the last episode, if you've not seen it, go and check it out. The link is below, or look at one of the previous ones. But since then, we've been working on the K24. So we've been doing a bit off camera because we just sort of go at it. So me and Rory, we started stripping it down. So first thing was change the timing chain. So we got rid, well, basically took off the timing chain, the tensioner, the guides. Also, we replaced the oil pump. So as some of you may be aware, that on the K24 there's a huge oil pump which has got like a balance shaft in it, and in order for it to be, you know, a bit more free revving, should we say, you fit a K20A2 or the oil pump off of the K20Z. So we had to do a bit of a notching, bit of notching on this oil pump, because otherwise it doesn't fit with the K24 girdle. So all I'm waiting on is a oil pump chain, and I've already got the tensioner for that. So we've got a few goodies that have just arrived, but we need to get that chain in place before I can actually put all the guides on for the timing chain and the tensioner. So today picked up some K20A2 cams, because in the K24 A3, you know, the cams they're all right, I think mainly for boost applications, but this is going to stay NA for the time being. We've got a few other tasty little bits which I'll show you. So as well as those other bits, ignore the carpet samples, as well as those other bits, just been today to pick up the K20A2 cams with the K20A2 BTCC gear. So this will be perfect for the K24, so it'll give us a bit more of a capability of revving a bit higher, and plus these are a bit better of a cam to put in the K24. So all I'm going to do is just clean them up, just give them a quick, you know, wipe down, a bit of a clean down, and get these added in and put the retainers on, and then should be able to just put the cam cover back on, keep it sealed up a bit more from dust, and then we'll move on to something else while I wait for the other bits to come. So here we have it, sports fans, they're in. So we got the RBC cams in, and all I've done so far is just tighten them up, just with Siri's trying to talk to me.
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
We're filming some YouTube here, lad. What's going on?
Okay, searching for YouTube on the App Store.
All I've done is just tighten these down just by hand. Yeah, I've not torqued them up yet. As you can see, I've still got this one just through the spinning. I've left these two loose for now because I've just tweaked them in ever so slightly, because I want to be able to spin this over still and these bolts not fall out. So I've left this old one on just for now. I've got a new one, so I don't want to put any of the new bits on just yet until I get my tensioner. So you can see the old tensioner just sat there, covered in whatever that is, just something. So yeah, got a new one of these on order, still waiting for it to arrive. So once I get that, then I can at least put all this together then, as well, like I mentioned before, the chain for the oil pump. So now we've spun it over. The reason why I wanted to show you is that we have, on the K24, I've already taken it out, but on the K24, when you have this huge oil pump, you have, makes me trusty pencil, this little jobber. So it's a little bung. Well, it's not a bung, it's like a little, got a tiny little hole in the middle of it. So this sits here on this one. So if you don't blank this off, then you probably heard it quite a few times, but if you don't blank that off, you get a drop in oil pressure because there's nothing there to receive the oil out of this. So what you have to do is block it up and seal it up with a bit of Honda Bond. Went through my trusty rusty bolt selection and come across this lovely bolt. I think it's probably from an MX-5 that I had before. God knows where it's from. Yeah, so I've sat it in some thinners just to make sure that there's no, you know, nasty stuff on it, and bung that hole up, that one, that tasty one there. Bung it up with a bit of Honda Bond, and then we're pretty much good to go. So like I said, we're still waiting on some bits, so obviously I don't want to put the sump on just yet, so it's a bit of a pain in the ass because I just want to get on with it.
Just get on with it.
But you know, it might be couple of days yet. But there are a few things I can do, like cleaning up the faces on the engine and stuff like that. But otherwise, we're going to be focusing on the actual shell. So what I'm going to do, get this bolt in there. Job's a fish. So if you want to know for reference, bolts wise, the bolt is an M8. So there we go, 8mm. And lengthwise is roughly, the one I'm using, roughly around 30mm. And it's got this little like dolphin nose on the end of this, so it fits quite nice, and it's got this little shoulder on. Yeah, you can just use a straight threaded bolt, but providing it's got, you know, something like a top hat to it, like a, yeah, so like this one. So just enough just to blank over the top of this. So I've just given it a bit of a clean, just a bit of a wipe down again with just a, you know, a bit of paper towel and just a bit of thinners on there, just to make sure that, you know, it's clean enough. So it's going to bob a bit of Honda Bond on the threads, and then put the bolt in, tighten it up quite nicely, and that'll do the trick. Right, so that's that in. That's all tightened up now. So it's got all Honda Bond on the threads, and I've managed to put some in there's a little, you see on that bolt hole, you got a bit of a shoulder in there as well. So I've put enough in there so it fills the shoulder as well. So it's all, yeah, it's all underneath here, and just wiped off the excess, so that's nice and clean. So we're not going to get any floaters knocking about. And I think that's about as much as I can do for now on there. Right, so we've got the engine span over. So we've got it all covered up on top. So I've tightened those bolts down just so I can actually get the cam cover on properly. And what we have here, thermostat housing, I've just put it on just for showing, is I've swapped out the K24 water pump housing. So this is a K20 version, so off of this engine, with the K24 pipes added to it. I've changed that because on the K24 version, the nose or the snout points up, which it means if I have the K20 version on the K24 block, it means I can use EP3 hoses since it's an EP3. I think I'll probably end up replacing this out when I come to put the K20 in the Williams. Probably have this one or maybe a K-tune one later on. So that's no good. Don't really need to use this anymore. And yeah, you have to put the K24 hoses back on because you have this water pump housing, or sorry, not water pump housing. You have this water outlet that bolts on the side of the head, and the pipe goes around it. So on the K20 you don't have that problem. So yeah, so that's a bit of K24 knowledge there. And so if you're wondering why I wanted a K24 rather than a 20, just the K24 has really good performance. It has better low end torque. It doesn't rev as high, so probably rev into around 8,000 RPM. We'll soon see when we come to do dyno pulls and stuff like that. But yeah, so going to use the K24 just purely for the lower end torque. This car will be NA to start off with. There is a plan to use a Roadtrek supercharger later on. But yeah, all I want to do is, because I've never driven an EP3 on track. Obviously I've driven Mark 1 Clios before, but yeah, I want to be able to get used to the car first, know its behaviours and stuff, then start upping the power afterwards. So we should be good for around, I don't know, 250 horse, the usual standard Honda outputs, maybe a bit more, but again, you'll have that lower, or you have the higher torque figure at the bottom end of the RPMs. So yeah, so that's his reasons. And yeah, so the next bit now is I'm going to jump over to the time lapse, because I'm pretty much done with that. Just going to put a sheet over it, just make sure it's going to be nice and dust proof. And we're going to start stripping this down, because I do want to get this engine bay painted, get it looking nice, because yeah, I like things to look nice. So I'm going to get the wings off and get the rack out, get the brake system out, just out of the way, so we can make all this redness white. So I think we're actually going to go white this time rather than grey. I think it'll match with the engine bay, and plus the touring cars did the same. So when they were white on the inside. They were just grey on the inside, on the cabin. So yeah, so let's get at it. Let's start stripping it down. Start with K24. So first observations was the cam. That way, yeah. So no, the first thing we did was I put the K20 cams in, and really it's only the K20 inlet cam that we need. So
we believe.
Yeah. So we're swapping that out. Well, we swapped that out. That's all torqued down now, apart from these two. So we just need to get the guide on top of there. But we need to get the chain on with a tensioner. But also we're just going to do the oil pump side now.
You pump for K20 pump for more revolutions.
Many RPMs coming. So we're just going to flip this over, get the guides on the tensioner, the chain, everything else, get all that buttoned up, and as well get the windage tray in, get all that sorted out.
You got some HB?
Got some Honda bond, yeah.
That's all right.
Got plenty of Honda bond.
That's all you need. If you got enough of that, you can put it together.
Maybe we just stick it together with Honda bond.
That's what, yeah, I could do that, wouldn't
Yeah, maybe we need them here. But yeah, so we're just going to spin this over and get cracking with this. See you on the side. Right, so we've just fitted the oil pump chain. So just need to put the tensioner on. Just torqued up the new oil pump guide. Got a new windage tray. So this is from a K20. And just bolt it straight onto here. As I've shown before, that's all plugged up. That little gallery. And yeah, this was a kit that comes from Clockwise Motion. And yeah, they've got send out a full kit which has got all the bolts and yeah, everything in individual packets. So we're just going to replace a few of these. So we've got all these little bolts that got to go in here. We're always just having a good old clean up, aren't you, lad?
Time to clean as always.
Yeah, that's it. Get its nice, get its mating face nice and clean. Then
enough cleaning my own shit and then I end up doing everyone else's.
mate, you enjoy this type of shit.
I do, mate.
Mate, you do.
I don't. I just can't see it not done.
Mate, straight off you're like, oh, I just want to clean this.
I don't remember that conversation.
There was definitely that conversation. So yeah, we've got a Blox, the sump baffle. That's got to go on yet. So we've got some spacers and stuff which sit off of these bolts. So I think we might have to replace some of these. Definitely use the instruction manual for this because it's, there we go. Got a kit of spacers and all sorts of stuff and a nice little manual. So
where did you get that from in the end?
this is from Takeaway, I think. Nice block sticker in there. So we just need to crack on with that. And here we have the Roy Bailey cleaning the K24 mating surfaces.
Killing his back. Too old for this shit.
And all the news.
It's easy with a bit of brake cleaner, mate, but you know.
Well, we don't have brake cleaner. We only have thinners and a knife.
Fucking kitchen knife and thinners and a bit of spit.
Mate, it's how you build K24s. So here we have the Blox fitting kit. So we have 6 of these studs. Loctite 242. So we'll put a bit of Loctite on the end of this thread.
Bit of Nigel.
Bit of Nigel Loctite. And we will add the stud into each of these orifices. I would do that on camera, but I only have one hand. So please bear with. And here we have it, sports fans. The studs with the thread lock is now in. So next on the block instructions, we have to locate the aluminium spacers and push nut retainers, also washers, in the provided hardware kit. Okay, let's do that. Trying to drop any of these in engine. Will not be a
Ding ding.
like the sound. Lovely. Let's go fish that out. Right, so I think we're okay. So
Sound of either much time or much money. Your option.
next up we have slide one spacer onto the stud, followed by a push nut retainer. Again, I've only got old lefty, so I will be back with you shortly. So here we have the Blox oil sump baffle and come to fit it. Try and do a Bill Oddie voice. Not Bill Oddie. It's not Bill Oddie at all, is it? It's David Attenborough. Try and do some Attenborough. It's failing me a little bit. But here we have the Blox oil pump sump pan baffle.
Pump, sump, pan, baffle.
That one, yeah. Yeah, one of those. And we can't fit it.
Wait, there's no wee in this, mate. This is on you, this one.
I can't fit it because the oil pump is in the way. You see there, there's a little bit of contact going off, and you can't get the baffle over the pins. So we have to undo the oil pump just to tilt it up ever so slightly, and we will get this beast on. And there we have it, sports fans. So all we need to do is add these nuts to all these studs, but it doesn't actually mention anything in the instructions about adding thread lock. So I don't quite fancy having one of those nuts in there, because I think that would be quite catastrophic, don't you think?
More highly likely, yeah.
Yeah, guaranteed that will find itself into the engine somewhere. So put a bit of thread lock on there, and then we're going to wind these down, and then we're pretty much done. But yeah, I think access wise, it's not too bad, but you can't really get at any of the bolts. You know, you have to undo these to get this on. And I think maybe if you use a different oil pump, it might be slightly different, perhaps.
I think they're all pretty much the same, unless you've got... No, I think they're all based off a Honda OEM pump, so...
Yeah.
Even the upgraded ones, like...
Well, that's it then. So, yeah, bit of consumer advice there. Can't really get out your bolts. So you have to get a bit of a jiggery pokery. But yeah, we'll get that on, and then we should be good to go to get the sump on then. Get it all, because Roy's done a fantastic job of cleaning.
Thanks, mate.
You're welcome, mate. And we'll get some HB on there and get it slapped on, and we're good to go. Right, sports fans, the time has come where we've got the timing chain on, all the chains on, the oil pump's on, the baffle's on. So all we've got to do now is pull the nice little green pin. Nope. So we've got the green pin.
Grenade pin.
The grenade pin.
It is very wrong with it, right?
So we've got all new Honda guides, tensioner, new tensioner, chain, new Honda bits, and yeah, so there it goes. It's
anticlimactic, wasn't it?
wow, yeah, didn't go boom or anything like that, did it? So I think we're alright so far. So yeah, remember high school? Yeah. So yeah, we're on, we're ready. So the timing chain is now on. So using the calibrated 1/4 inch ratchet.
Yeah. Right hand calibrated torque.
That's it. You can just see a bit of squidge of Honda Bond there. So used a full layer all the way around this, and just wipe that down ever so slightly. There we go. Perfect. Then next thing, gotta get the sump on, and yeah, get a bit of Honda Bond all the way around that as well.
Have you got that?
And we can put the cam cover on. Right, and here we have it, sports fans. So it's now no Capitol, no sponsor by Capitol. We've got Mowgli on there instead. So it's now 25 to 12. K24 is now just about ready. It's not completely ready. Got to do a bit more cleaning up, but just getting this.
It's ready.
Huh?
Mechanically, it's ready.
Mechanically, it's ready.
Not torque spec.
Yeah, just needs a little bit of a clean up. Obviously, it's upside down. That's not the top of it. That's the bottom of it. Just giving this a quick lick of paint. So had a few scratches on the sump. But yeah, we just need to spin it over. Right, so she's flipped over. So yeah, we've got the cam cover on as well. So we just got again a few bits to do, but everything is done. So we've got K20 inlet cam with VTC gear. We've got new timing chain for both the oil pump and overall timing chain. We've got brand new guides, brand new tensioners, brand new oil pump, and brand new Blox oil baffle.
Snug fit.
Very,
Extra snug.
it's a very snug fit. So we had to really squeeze this sump pan on. It seems to put up a little bit of a fight, but yeah, we got it on in the end, and yeah, we're just about there now. Right, so we're going to wrap it up here for today. So thanks again for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button here below. Also, drop us a like, drop us a comment, and we'll see you again soon. There's more content coming. Take it easy.
Cheers.
See you in a bit.